Greetings, Elder. What were you grumbling about?
Oh, you've returned. Look what I found when I was cleaning my dresser.
You had a sword in your dresser?
Hey, but this is...
This isn't just any old sword. It looks kinda like... You know what?
She means Dane Nomos, right?
Just what kind of sword is this?
I was hoping you would ask. If memory serves, it is one of the 7 fell arms of legend.
You mean the weapon spawned by the 14-headed monster from the fairy tales?
I don't know how the story is told below, but here the legend is as follows. At the height of the ancient Blastia civilization, an attempt was made to produce special weapons. Eventually, this led to the creation of armaments of untold power, 7 in total.
So these weapons are a legacy of the ancients. Well, Dane Nomos is real. Maybe this story is too.
Is Dane Nomos one of these fell arms, then?
I'd say it's possible if what the Elder said is true. But if this really is one of the fell arms, why was it in your dresser, Elder?
I can't remember for the life of me. It's been decades since I've cleaned this thing out.
You haven't cleaned out your dresser in decades? I don't know what to say.
If these weapons are really as powerful as they sound, it might be a good idea for us to get a hold of them before they fall into the wrong hands.
Yeah, there've been quite a few sets of wrong hands out there lately, too.
Might we take this with us, Elder?
Huh? Oh, fine by me.
You're giving it to us just like that?
To tell the truth, I'm glad it turned up, but I've been wondering what I'd do with it. I've got no real use for it. Besides, it would be a shame to just leave something like this lying around. I figure you are just the ones to put it to proper use.
Do you know anything about the other fell arms?
Let me see here. According to the legend, the 7 weapons share a common bond. If this is truly one of the fell arms, it may react if brought near the others.
So as long as we have one, any of the others should react to it somehow?
If the legends speak true.
Okay, got it. Thanks again, Elder. We'll take it off your hands.
Now we found most of the fell arms.
They don't seem really powerful to me. Maybe there's something we have to do to awaken them fully.
We'd be getting a big boost to our own strength if we could manage that.
Though it wouldn't be good to depend upon them too much.
That's right.
Just like an over-reliance on Blastia led to severe repercussions, if we rely on the power of the Fel arms, we might be repeating the same mistakes.
Well, just don't use them then. We're just gathering them up to make sure the wrong type of people don't get them.
Right.
The sign of victory!
Yeah!
Yay!
You got pretty good. From behind? Oh, man.
This happens all the time!
All right, who's next?
All my heart, baby. All my love.
That was a breeze!
Oh, it's cold, cold, cold. So cold, 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 cold.
So, what are you gonna do with the air crane?
I'm going to use the energy to make an air converter.
An air converter?
My plan is to efficiently convert the air into matter, decreasing the overall amount of air. But for that, it's ideal to have the converter use energy similar to both air and matter.
How is that energy different from air?
Elementally separated air transitions into matter in stages and eventually becomes stable. I'm going to stop its transition between the two states and develop a converter formula.
So it won't be air or matter?
It's a state that's closer to matter than to air, but it's still not quite matter. We call it mana.
Mana. To think that one short utterance could hold more gravity than the light used to lure fish out of the frigid sea at night.
It actually has a really long, complicated name, but mana's good enough. But it'll still be less stable than actual matter, so we'll need something to act as a core.
The Epitheia.
And a lot of air and Estelle's power to recombine the formula.
Using my power without the control formula will unbalance the air. It'll just flood out again.
But we can't just sit here and ignore that thing. And
Yeah?
It's a bet I'm willing to take.
I guess I should be the one trying to stop you, but I'm game to get in on this bet too.
I'll wager 1 billion gold on that.
The theory is correct. It'll be okay.
I'll return this 1 billion gold to you many times over.
Oh, truly now?
Yep. Come on, let's head to the Air Crene.
Watch my back. Oh, divine spear, run my enemy through.
We won! That's the cry of victory! Ooh, that's nice.
I tell you, thinking of a converter for air. You're quite the thinker. That's our genius mage girl Rita. Yep.
Well, I had a hint to go off of.
Come to think of it, you did say you'd investigated Zod, didn't you?
Despite its amazing size, it wasn't running off of air. Even though it was a barrier blastia to protect the entire world.
A barrier blastia? Oh yeah, they were protecting the world from the Autophagos.
You mean to say it's been there for a millennium? It's as dogged as a philosophizing anemone.
Same goes for the Autophagos. It's been clinging to that barrier for just as long.
Alexei seemed to believe Zod was a weapon, but he couldn't have been more mistaken.
But the runaway air was the cause for the Autophagos' awakening, wasn't it? So that's why they would use a barrier running on power other than air.
But then, what sort of power was it using? The children of the full moon, perhaps?
It was actually energy taken straight from them. Inside that giant core, it continued to power Zod as a virtually perpetual formula. Most likely, the energy was taken in exchange for their lives.
The light of life was extinguished from the children of the full moon.
So that's what Miorzo's legend meant.
According to Duke, they did it of their own free will. They wanted to save the world.
The love the children of the full moon bore for this world is what created the barrier.
Power of love. Makes you want to cry.
They sacrificed themselves for the world. The children of the full moon were protecting us the entire time.
Man, could you be any weaker?
Don't get cocky! Oh, divine spear, run my enemy through! Holy lance! Oh, repeat! Your tail? So can we just go all out? That was a nice little break. This looks easy.
Don't get careless.
Watch my back.
Wonderful!
Resound, O cry of victory! All right.
Man, could you be any weaker?
I guess I'll go easy on them.
Pierce Buster! Oh, evil soul, fall before this pure light! Grand Chariot! Oh, divine spear, run my enemy through!
The sign of victory!
Yeah!
Yay!
You got pretty good. This looks like fun. You picked the wrong people to fight with.
Man, could you be any weaker?
I guess I'll go easy on them.
Oh, evil soul, fall before this pure light! Oh, divine spear, run my enemy through! Holy Lance! Oh, holy waters, rain down your wrath!
You picked the wrong people to fight with.
We should really enjoy these little times together.
Shining Dragon's War! Shining Dragon's War!
We shouldn't let this go to our heads.
Man, could you be any weaker?
I guess I'll go easy on them.
Oh, power that tries to shine! Moonlight blast! Oh, holy waters,
You picked the wrong people to fight with.
I'm even stronger now. I have been trained by knights. I won't lose. Thundering move!
Blow you away! That's it, that's it!
Oh, silver light! Angel ring!
That's it, that's it!
Oh, holy waters, rain down your power on us!
You picked the wrong people to fight with.
I have been trained by knights. I won't lose.
Alright, who's next?
That was useless. Oh, brilliant! Like this you can do. Always watch the March, repeat!
I don't care what rock you crawled out from. Bring it. You picked the wrong people to fight with. I can do even better than this.
So can we just go all out? Oh, silver light! The sign of victory!
Yeah!
Yay!
You got pretty good. I don't care what rock you crawled out from. Bring it.
Shining Dragon Force!
That was wonderful!
That monster's not gonna show up again, right?
If it does, you'll beat it up for us just like the last time, right?
You're mean.
Okay, I'm ready. Estelle, come over here. Now, I'll release the control formula. Once I do that, the air crene will react to you and produce more air. I want you to recompose the air formula into a stable formula closer to mana.
I don't understand.
Yeah. Okay, the water element is strong here, so imagine flowing water and let your body flow with the air. The theory behind materializing air is the same as performing magic. If Estelle can recompose the air into a state close to mana, then I should be able to guide the air into the Cyanoceal.
Can we do anything?
No. Go take a nap or something.
We'd freeze to death if we took a nap here.
We're pretty handy, you know. We can cook or fish or anything you want. Just tell us what to do.
I wouldn't say anything.
We can use the conversion formula we found in Zaude.
That was for substituting life for air. Your life! You can't do that!
But if this fails, then we'll all be swallowed up by a flood of air. We'll be dead anyway, right?
We're all risking our lives. Let us help.
All right. I'll use your life energy to guide the air into the Cyanoceal. If we do that, I think Estelle will understand the flow of the air without interference from me.
All right, everyone. Let's do this.
Sure. Why not?
Ready, Estelle? Here we go. Everyone, come over here.
Go ahead.
Try and synchronize yourself with my formula. There, that's good.